We're back with another episode of our COPCast podcast that we're doing in conjunction with our good cop experts, where we get to talk to them a little bit more about what they're working on, where they're from, and what would they like to say to the WHO. So then this episode, I've got Maria P. Another person I cannot pronounce her last name, from Canada and from Rights for Vapers, and she also does a lot of other stuff as I'm becoming more aware of. So first, thank you for joining us. Thanks for coming down for Good Cop, and can you introduce yourself and tell us, our listeners, a little bit more about your tobacco harm reduction journey?
Okay, my name is Maria Papaioannoy, and sometimes I throw in Duick because I want my husband to feel loved. But really, I'm Maria P. I think that's so much easier. I started vaping in 2010, so I am a lived experiment. And I opened up a shop in 2013, and in 2014, I got blindsided by a local municipal bylaw. And I thought to myself, never again. If I'm owning a business and I'm helping people stay smoke-free, I best be up to date on every single regulation. I best be out there fighting for them. So over the years it evolved. I organized protests, which, I look at protests as a tableau in time. So I make sure that, we portray an image of who we are throughout the board. We're not, this is back in the time in 2015 that it was all about, every person who vapes is like a 30-something-year-old guy with a beard and pants down below their waist, which was not the case.
Cloud Bros.
Yeah, Cloud Bros. Yes, we had cloud competitions. We did all that stuff. But the people who were really needed it were people who were smoking for decades, and then finally found a product that didn't have side effects that made me feel bad, or side effects that gave me crazy dreams, or side effects that made me have 2 accidents and 3 speeding tickets in 6 weeks. So I looked at this and I embraced myself in this industry, and I realized that a lot of this industry in North America was built on the backs of people who were living in different forms of recovery. And for those of us who are in recovery, we know that we have to be authentic and hold accountability. And I could see these business owners who owned e-liquid companies, how committed they were to ensuring that the people that were using their products were getting an even safer products. And this industry was self-regulated. And I can talk about Canada a lot more than I can talk about the US, but we've grown. Are we now in our senior year? Heck no. I think we're still second year sophomores, for lack of a better word. But we put effort into this, and we see that we're getting shut out of conversations, and that really pissed me off. So I was part of this movement called Vapor Advocates of Ontario, and we changed regulations. We got regulations stopped in our province. And then I realized that let me move to something. Let me create a movement that is about consumers. And that's where Rights for Vapers happened. And the whole goal, especially during COVID, was about education. Educate, because once you educate, you feel empowered to engage with whoever. So we created a series of Zoom talks that ranged from speaking to experts from around the world, and even getting Health Canada to discuss what was going on. And that was the first of its kind. So education was so important, because one organization, one movement, because we're not an organization, I want to be clear, we're a movement. And one movement cannot do it all. And no one should ever think that they can do it all. Everybody has a place. And part of that place, if you're doing something, is to help people, is to give them the confidence and help them feel empowered. And I think we did that because, a lot of consumers started speaking up. And for the first time ever, Health Canada, which for any American users or anyone else around the world, Canada's FDA. I call the FDA Canada's Health Canada, but that's just me. Health Canada has a consumer advisory board. I'm not part of it, but there are consumers that are part of it, and it's absolutely incredible to see that Health Canada is engaging with the lived experience. And that's amazing, and I'm very disappointed that currently at WHO, Health Canada is not encouraging WHO to engage in the health lived experience.
And engage with the consumers.
Yeah,
it seems
that's the
it's
whole
lost.
point.
I know when we were talking earlier about, it seems that our neighbors to the north are a little bit more accepting of vapor products. I know that I've actually relied on your public health agency statement on nicotine and the harms, the reduced harms of e-cigarettes, and to try to implore my own public health bodies that this is the information that they're relaying to it. Can you talk a little bit about that information that they're doing on that, and more and is there a big pushback against vapors still in Canada? Are you still fighting for it? I mean, what's the regulations look like? Is it I know there's some places where they have done some bans and everything. Forgive me for not knowing my geography very well.
No worries.
So,
I'm here for you. I'm your Canadian expert.
Can you talk a little bit, more about that, what the situation's like?
So I feel that after Health Canada came out and made a public position of, okay, let's be clear. They're not embracing vaping. They're not handing out free vapes to everybody. We still have an excise tax on the federal level, which they're encouraging provinces. But in Canada, we have multiple tiers of government. So the federal government can create a law, and then provincial and municipal governments can add to the law to make it more restrictive, because the theory is we know our people better. So what may work in the province of Ontario, where Toronto is, may be different than what may work in the province of BC, where Vancouver is. I'm trying to find places that thing. We have, in the province of Quebec, we have an all-right ban, a double tax, so that means an extra $20 on a bottle of e-liquid.
But they have a ban and an excise tax on it?
Yes. Never doubt the power of the anti-tobacco movement. What I feel like the anti-tobacco movement gave up on Health Canada and moved on to the provincial levels of government, which don't have the resources to fact check, and they just listen. I was speaking at our budget hearing a couple of weeks ago, and one of the members of provincial parliament, one of our legislators, asked me, well, we're doing this tax. They're introducing the double tax. So that means they're going to charge another $10 on a 60 ml. So that would be $20 a bottle. I know. And he goes, but the Heart and Stroke Association has praised us for doing this. Have you reached out and talked to them? And at this point, I've been asked about popcorn lung and everything else. And I just looked at him and I said, no, because they don't talk to me. Do you want to know why they don't talk to me? Because they think I'm big tobacco, because I, at one point in my life, owned a vape shop. And there's this thing called 5.3, if you didn't know, that is actually, those organizations are listening to some random organization called the World Health Organization over Canadian laws. So I don't even know why you're accepting their, I just went off. Because they don't have the resources to fact check it. Yeah. They don't have that as Health Canada does, and instead of relying, and instead of these organizations, which are here at COP, not as advisors to Health Canada, might I add. They're here, from what I understand, Bloomberg funded organizations. Who's those people that do those stupid awards? What are the awards like?
Oh, there's a stop, or the Graham with the Raspberry Awards or whatever.
Yeah, the people who lose get the smelly ashtray award again.
The dirty ashtray awards. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, another stigmatization. They're literally stigmatizing people. They are at an event. This is the part where these people have their butt so far up their head, and they don't understand that they are continuing to stigmatize people who smoke around the world by creating an award that is a negative award and calling it a stinky ashtray. And you know what? When you were growing up, my mom would say to me, no one's going to want to kiss a stinky ashtray. So these are messaging, and I don't care. You know what? I don't believe they're that stupid. And if they are, then what the heck are they doing advising governments on what to do? You are perpetuating stigmatization through these awards. A stinky ashtray, get over yourself. You know what? You have a stinky butt. Anyway, I don't even know why I said that.
No, absolutely. We were saying during our opening session for Wednesday that we were it seems that the WHO has forgotten its mission, especially under the FCTC, of, reducing the smoking burden, and going, It's hard to not say smoker. Sorry, Skip. but that's what they should be caring about. And no, they just stigmatize them and force them to deal with high taxation, bans. The only option that they want for them is prescription, medical products that make.
No. Sorry, only medical products that fit their model, because let's not forget that they went all ape doo-doo around a low-cost vaccine that was created by a tobacco plant that would really help people that didn't want to use the traditional mRNA or whatever that kind of thing is. People were afraid of that new vaccine technology, but here we have something coming from a natural plant, but they banned it. This would have helped save so many lives. So you know what? I do not believe the people there. They are so afraid of something that happened in 1985. They've forgotten they live in 2024. They are praising one technology. Oh God, I just hit the mic, guys. And I'm using my hands a lot because I'm Greek. They're praising one technology and ignoring and vilifying another.
Well, it's also in direct contrast to the way that they promoted the vaccines, and not the non-tobacco vaccines. I mean, we don't have enough evidence about e-cigarettes. We don't have enough evidence about e-cigarettes. Where was that sense of caution with this vaccine? I mean, you definitely don't have decades of research on that vaccine that you were demanding for e-cigarettes, even though you have immediate, facts that you can, you're scientists. You're supposed to be scientists, people. And it's no, the complete.
They're actually,
ignorance of the science.
Let's take away scientists. Let's take away all that. They're supposed to be human beings.
Yeah.
And what is happening is, and I was just talking about this, is that where we're at in, I would say, the pushback, the pro-vaping community, is that we started off with sympathy. We've moved on to empathy, which means, sympathy, we felt sorry. Empathy, we started putting ourselves in these shoes because this is where we're at. And we need to, they need to move on to compassion. And compassion
moved on to apathy almost. Yeah.
And compassion means I'm going to ask you how you want to be helped. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to help you. And if you don't like it, it's like these people we're stuck on the side of the road and they're offering us diesel gas for our unleaded tanks and forcing us to put it in there. And when it breaks down, they tell us, well, we have nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Shouldn't have done it in the first place. Absolutely. Well, I guess you almost did my next question. I'm going to wrap it up. I told you I'm not going to keep you super long.
No, but I could talk here forever.
What would be your message to the WHO if we were able to actually get inside that conference?
It's okay to be you. I do not 100% believe that there is not many people in the world that hate people who smoke that much. I don't believe it. I believe that many of the governments feel scared. I think that I would tell them to be you, and don't worry if it's because of a paycheck. And I don't give a crap who funds who. I really don't. I don't think any of that matters. I think we're beyond this. This isn't the 1920s that we have to worry about money. We can find things that we need. Our opinions are not influenced. There's not that much money out there to influence opinions on the basis level. I'm talking about people like me and you. I'm talking about people that are just barely making a living wage, working at Bloomberg-funded organizations. I think they're just too afraid. They're just too afraid to step out because it's comfortable. So I just want to tell them that, I know I'm going to be cheesy, the truth will set you free. And if you don't believe in what you're doing, someone will listen to you. And one day we'll get there. Our voices will be heard. I'm just going to go hang out there today. I mean, I don't have to do another live feed till 3:45, so I didn't know what to do, so I'm going to go hang out at the convention center.
Oh, get some pictures. Send them to me.
I have a fancy video camera with me.
Oh, sweet. Yes, awesome. Well, you make sure that you're following her on Twitter. Y'all should have all this on there in a couple hours.
And my Twitter handle is so easy. It's at Papaioannoy.
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
Actually, follow Rights for Vapers.
Yeah.
That one's super easy. Oh my God, Lindsay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming down to Good Cop and being an expert. We're really excited to have you and have Canada being represented,
It means a lot to me.
All right. Well, thank you, listeners, for listening to another episode of our COPCast. Make sure to tune into all of our other ones with all of our other experts and that you're tuning into our live stream, the Good Cop Conference in Panama. Thank you.